Hello students, today we will study History Chapter 8, The First Empire. In this chapter we will discuss about the foundation of the Mauryan Empire, sources of the Mauryan Empire, about the rulers, Ashoka and the Kalinga War, and about Ashoka's Dhamma and about the administration of the Mauryan Empire. Students, in a monarchical form of government, empire were set up by the rulers. A group of many territories brought together under one ruler is known as empire. Empire simply means a very large kingdom ruled by a ruler. According to some historian, Chanakya was humiliated by the Magadha king Dhanananda. So Chanakya swore to destroy the Nanda Empire. He supported Chandragupta Maurya and overthrew the Nanda Empire and thus founded the Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire was considered the first empire in Indian history. Now, sources of the Mauryan Empire. There were literary and archaeological sources of the Mauryan Empire. The Arthashastra written by Chanakya dealt with how to govern an empire and the description about the Mauryan administration. He also wrote down his observations about the rule of Chandragupta and described the Mauryan capital Patliputra in his book. Greek ambassador Megasthenes. Archaeological sources such as the rock and pillar edicts provide us the valuable information about Emperor Ashoka. The punch-marked coins tells us about trade and commerce, and the pottery gives us an idea about the items that were used by the people during that time. Through these literary and archaeological sources, we get the knowledge about the Mauryan Empire. So now about the Mauryan rulers. There were three important rulers of Mauryan dynasty. Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of this Mauryan Empire, Bindusara and Ashoka. Chandragupta Maurya laid the foundation of Mauryan Empire. So, he was the first ruler of the Mauryan Empire. He ruled between 321 BCE and to 297 BCE. As we have discussed before, Chanakya supported Chandragupta to defeat Nanda ruler. The last ruler was Dhanananda of this dynasty was defeated by Chandragupta. Thus, Nanda dynasty was declined and Mauryan Empire was set up. Chanakya was appointed as a minister of the empire. Chandragupta conquered Magadha and then he defeated Seleucus Nicator. Seleucus Nicator was the general of the Greek king Alexander. You know that Alexander also came to India. He conquered many territories, but after so many wars, he got tired and went back to his country, and he kept Seleucus Nicator to look after the conquered territories. After defeating Seleucus, Chandragupta Maurya established his empire in these areas also. So, Seleucus Nicator want to make peace and a friendship with Mauryan Empire. So, he thought about the marriage alliances. So, the Helena, it was the name of the daughter of Seleucus, was married to Chandragupta to establish peace with the emperor. So, in his last days of life, he renounced everything and went to Karnataka with the Jain saint Bhadra Bahu. So, this all about Chandragupta Maurya. Bindusara. Now about Bindusara. Bindusara ascended on the throne after his father and ruled between 297 and 273 BCE. Under his rule, the Mauryan Empire spread across the whole Indian subcontinent except Kalinga. So, he maintained his vast empire with the support of Chanakya and was able to maintain the friendly relations with the Greek rulers. Ashoka. Bindusara was succeeded by Ashoka, the most famous and influential Mauryan ruler. He was an admirable warrior general and a wise statesman. Now, about the conquest of Kalinga. The Kalinga War was one of the bloodiest war in the Indian history. Only one province, Kalinga, was remained unconquered, so Ashoka decided to conquer Kalinga. He succeeded to conquer Kalinga, but it witnessed death, destruction, and suffering on a large scale. On seeing this, Ashoka's heart was filled with sorrow and repentance. So he decided to give up war forever and started to preach Buddhism. So students, Kalinga War put a great impact on Ashoka's life. On Ashoka's life, it was totally changed. Now he decided that he will never fight. He will just preach the Buddhism religion. Ashoka's Dhamma. After the Kalinga War, spreading Dhamma became Ashoka's main aim. Ashoka's Dhamma was not a religious policy but a code of conduct that one should follow to lead a virtuous and peaceful life. Ashoka adopted the policy of Dhamma Vijaya, meaning conquest through Dharma. His Dhamma was inspired by the teachings of Buddha. It emphasized proper moral conduct. Through Dhamma, Ashoka asked his people to do certain things. Those are as follows. First, be generous and avoid selfishness. Means you should be kind to others and you should not be selfish. You should be helpful to others. Second, maintain a high moral character. Means your character should be good. Third, be honest and non-partial. It means you should be loyal to the people. Fourth, be kind, gentle and helpful. It means that you should have a kindness to other people, although with animals also. You should be gentle and always ready to help others. Fifth, lead a simple life. Ashoka's Dhamma suggested us that we should live a very simple life. We should have to keep our thinking high, but the lifestyle should be simple. Next, follow non-violence. Follow non-violence means we should not fight with each other. We should not hurt anybody. Be patient. Patient means we have to keep patience. We should not just aggressive on anything. We should have to wait and we have to keep patience to know the situation or the matter. Last, promote peace and harmony. It means that you teach the lessons to keep peace in the people's mind. Everybody should make a friendly relation with others. Spread of Dhamma. Ashoka took many measures to spread Dhamma, so some of them are being discussed here. He himself gave up the luxurious and pleasurable life that he led before the Kalinga war. It means he was a king, so how he is living? He is living a luxurious life, means every comfortability is there, servants are there, good clothes are there, good food is there, wearing jewelry and all. So he himself first leave all this. Appointed Dharma Maha Matras, it means religious teachers and missionaries to spread Dhamma. That these religious teachers will tell about the teachings of this Dharma. Third, Ashoka propagated his ideas and Dhamma in places like Bodh Gaya and Lumbini and also helped the poor and needy. Means Ashoka himself helped the poor people and those who were in the need. Last, he issued rock and pillar edicts which contained the principles of Dhamma. Most of these edicts were written in Prakrit because that the people can easily understood that what is written on this rock and pillar edicts. And he placed these edicts in public places like markets and temples where a large number of people could read them and they can understand it and they should be influenced by these teachings. Now, Mauryan administration. Mauryan administration was highly centralized system. In this, the king was the supreme authority, means he was the all in all and he is responsible to maintain social order and to protect his people. And his only responsibility is that to think about the welfare of the people. It means that the king had absolute power and he was assisted or supported by a Mantri Parishad or Council of Ministers. They all are there to help a king to do his work or to administrate his empire. The revenue department was headed by a Samharta or chief revenue collector whose responsibility is to collecting revenue. Revenue is, the people of that empire, those who are under Mauryan Empire, they have to pay some taxes to the king for their protection. So that is known as revenue. The Sanidhatta or royal treasurer was in charge of the royal treasury. Royal treasury means king's treasury. The sources of collecting this revenue included land, trade and income from forest, mining, fines, duties and gifts. To rule the empire properly, he divided it into provinces and representatives were appointed by the king. Most of these representatives are the members of the royal family. These provinces were further divided into districts. The officials appointed at the district level were responsible for judicial as well as for the administrative functions. And officials like Rajukas and Yuktas were included in this. You know what is this Rajukas and Yuktas? The Rajukas and Yuktas were responsible for maintaining the law and order and the measurement of the land and the collecting of taxes, all work they have to maintain. In the villages, there is a headman who was in charge of a village. Village is the smallest administrative unit, so it was assisted by a village council. The village headman was chosen by the village people. About Mauryan army. It's a vast empire, so the army was also large. So a large part of the revenue was used to maintain a powerful army. This army has the main function to maintain internal harmony and as well as to face the external threats. In the book that was written by Megasthenes, there was a war council which had 30 members and was divided into 6 boards of 5 members each and included the infantry, the cavalry, the war chariots, the war elephants, the war transport and the fleet. Chanakya's Arthashastra also tells us about the Mauryan army that the control was of army is under Senapati or commander-in-chief. Various weapons like big swords, spears and javelins and bows and arrows were used in wars during that time. Spy system is also very good of Mauryan Empire. The spy system, it informed the king about the rebellion and corruption, so the king can control over them. Patliputra, the Mauryan capital. Ajatasattu was the first king who established Patliputra as the capital of Magadha. It was surrounded by a wooden wall which had 64 gates and 570 towers. We get this information from the book Indica, which was written by Megasthenes. He also described about the administration of Patliputra in detail in his book. So Patliputra was the capital of the Mauryan Empire, and the city administration was looked after by a committee of 30 members. And they are divided into 6 boards, each comprising 5 members. Each board was responsible to look after a specific department, like comfort and security of foreigners. Means when the foreigners come to visit Patliputra, then they should be comfortable in the capital. Registration of births and deaths. There was an office that how many children born or how many people died in the empire, that is maintained in the registers. Trade and commerce, there was a member, those who look after the trade and commerce. Collection of taxes and revenue, there where the responsibility was given to the members that you have to collect the taxes and revenue by the from the people. Inspection of manufactured goods. Whatever the goods means things, whatever the things are manufactured in the empire, the whole inspection should be done by a group of members. The reign of Ashoka ruled for 50 years. After his death, at least 7 kings ruled, but they all were incompetent. So the last king of the Mauryan dynasty was Brihadratha, who was assassinated by his general Pushyamitra, who started a new dynasty known as the Shanga dynasty. So thus Mauryan Empire was declined and Shanga dynasty laid their foundation.